When you are chosen, when you are called to something, when you have purpose in something, you cannot abandon it. Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work. Let's get it. Hello, what is going on, awesome party peeps? It's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. And today I'm bringing a quick kind of special message. All of these episodes are near and dear to my heart. If you know, you know. If you are not new here, welcome back. If you're just joining and you have no idea what we do or what we talk about here inside of the Jump First Academy community, we talk all things entrepreneurship, life stuff, okay? As well as my expertise is in premium courses, luxury mentorship, coaching, brands, marketing, like in building those things out. Let's just break it down and distill it into, it's really about helping you package your story so you can impact more people. And I help a lot of high performers and purpose-driven individuals to do so. If you like that or that intrigues you, go ahead and stick around for a while. Hit the subscribe button, like button, bell notification so you know when more episodes like this drop. And let's get into today's episode. What is going on, IG? It's good to see you on as well. So the title of today's episode is When You Are Chosen, You Can't Afford to. Okay, let's get into this. So I talked earlier about purpose, okay? And so I'll tell you what happened. This morning I was scrolling. And I've been limiting my scrolling because I don't want to consume so much. Pro tip for your courses, I always like to throw those in there. You become a creator instead of a consumer. So instead of consuming social media, you're going to start using social media to get your courses out there, get your voice out there, especially as you start marketing. So pro tip. If you're interested in learning more about courses, go to jumpfirstacademy.org to get started. All right, let's get into this for reals. I was scrolling today and I saw something online about another leader who is pivoting to a completely different industry. And it really got me thinking. It got my wheels turning, of course. And I never do this to throw shade at anyone. I will never mention any names here. But I put these things here because they get me thinking about so many of the leaders and high performers in this world who have unique gifts, skill sets, and abilities, okay? And when you are chosen, when you are called to something, when you have purpose in something, you cannot abandon it. And so sometimes, there are three distinct things I want to talk about and put here about what we cannot afford to do as people, high performers, leaders who have been chosen, okay, for our purpose, for distinct things that we are led to do. And so I saw this leader who was in a specific industry, and life changes, things come about. What's going on? Erica Blacks, hello. What's going on? Dirk, it's good to see y'all on. And so life changes, right? Things come about and cause these pivots sometimes in our lives. But what I want to put here is you can't run from purpose, right? No matter what it is that you have done in your life, no matter what it is that you are currently doing, okay, what's going on, IG? You can't run from what you have been called to do, what you have been chosen to do. And I know for me, like, especially in my younger years, like growing up, I was constantly running from my calling. I was constantly running from, I don't want to speak in front of people. I want to stay behind the scenes. I don't want to, be up there teaching people. Like, that's not my thing. When people would say, because I'm a PK, all right, I grew up a pastor's kid. And so people would say, you are going to be a pastor. And I'm like, that is not for me. Okay, still to this day, I'm like, I don't think that's for me. But, being called to teach, being called to speak, like being called to lead, that was something that I ran from for a long time. And so I completely understand when seasons change and cause us to have to pivot, or our plans, all right, are not his plans. And so they don't look like they used to look, but that doesn't require you to abandon your purpose, to abandon your vision and the mission that you've been put here to fulfill. Okay, I need to put that there. There are going to be seasons that are more challenging than others. There are going to be seasons that test us. There are going to be seasons and things that come along. All right, the wind blows this way, then the wind blows that way. All right, and we have to figure it out, but we don't have to abandon purpose. You don't abandon your vision, your mission. Okay, and so to switch to a completely different industry. And so I need to put this here, three distinct things real quick. When you are chosen, you cannot afford to keep playing small. All All right, that's number one. You cannot afford to keep playing small. You can't afford to not do what it is that's in your heart to do. If you've been thinking about, I'll give you a really quick example. A lot of the high performers that I get to work with inside of my business, they have wanted to create courses for a long time. Okay. And they're like, you know what? I finally was just like, let's just do it. 6 months, 2 years, some of them 3, even 10 years. And it had been on their heart, been on their heart, been on their heart, and they couldn't get it out. And it's never going to go away. The thing that you've been purposed to do, it doesn't go away. It just stays there. It plays in the back of your mind. You feel it in your heart. There's this excitement that happens when you come across it again, right? Where you're scrolling on social media and that thing that you've been thinking about pops up all of a sudden, okay? Or you see something that seems like a coincidence out while you're running errands. Like that thing is just going to keep coming up, and it's going to feel like it's like eating at you in a good way, right? Like, and so you can't run from the purpose. You can't run from what you've been called to do. That's what I mean. Like it's always going to be there kind of nagging until you decide to step into it and do it. Like we have a free will when we're chosen, when we're called, we have a free will to choose when we are going to step into the thing. Okay. So you can't afford to, number 2 or 1A, you can't afford to waste time. All right. So you got to stop playing small. You got to stand up, stand in the calling, because when you do that, when you stand in your calling, when you stand in your mission and purpose, right? All the doors start to open for you. You do not have to force anything. You don't have to convince anyone. You don't have to do any of that. Okay. You don't have to negotiate. Doors start to open for you. Opportunities start to present themselves, and you just walk on in because you're standing in your anointing. You're standing in your calling. You're standing in your purpose, right? Like that's the piece. Okay. So we can't afford to waste time. We can't afford to play small. The second, number 2, is we cannot afford to explain our decisions, okay, to anyone else. Our decisions, our choices, why we're doing what it is that we're doing, because it's likely that that plays into, 1A, right? We're wasting time playing small because we're constantly trying to convince somebody else, probably the people closest to you, why you're doing the things that you're doing. Trying to convince someone else why it's a good idea for you to go in this lane or do this thing or make that decision. So we can't afford to explain, because a lot of times your choices, okay, the decisions that you make aren't going to make sense to anybody else. You are chosen, you are called for a very specific thing, okay? So you got to step into that. Nobody else can do it for you. And so there will be opposition. There will be things that come up, including sometimes as people we love, they want to protect us. They want to help us, right? And look out for us. And based on their life experiences or things that they've gone through, their calling is not the same. Like your calling isn't their calling. And so they won't be able to understand you making these decisions, and then in them trying to protect you, in them trying to look out for your good, all right, they give you some bad advice or some wrong advice. Not that they're bad, not that they're trying to deter you purposefully from what it is that you're supposed to be doing. However, all right, and them trying to protect you, that's exactly what they're doing. So stop trying to explain your choices. Stop over explaining what it is that you're doing, and just go do it. You be a living, breathing testimony for somebody else, okay, through your actions, not your words. So that's number 2. We cannot afford to explain our decisions or over explain ourselves. Number 3, we cannot afford to follow people who are not aligned with our vision and our purpose. Okay. Yes, there are leaders out there. I talked about, this at the beginning of this episode. And if you're just tuning in, go back and watch from the beginning. But I talked about this. Like there are so many leaders. How many have we seen start to pivot? Okay. Since 2022, 2023, like around the time that COVID was starting to like die down a little bit, right? People start to pivot from lanes, from purposes, from visions, people that seem so solid in what it is that they were doing. Again, I'm not saying that life doesn't come challenge us or there aren't certain seasons and reasons for us to pivot, but to completely abandon a purpose, to completely abandon a mission, it makes you question the leadership in the first place, right? So as someone who is chosen and called to do what you've been called to do, you cannot follow everyone. That means you have to use your discernment, okay, to determine who is it that you are supposed to be learning from, getting advice from? Who is it that is assigned to your purpose, your destiny, right? Your vision, your mission, that's going to help you move it forward, and vice versa. You are helping them as well. I always say that about my clients, my mentees, and my students. yes, I'm helping them move their visions forward, their missions forward. But guess what? In turn, they're helping me move mine forward as well. And so I'm forever grateful to have the right people inside of my programs, okay? Inside of what it is that I'm doing. And that's a hard lesson I had to learn before I fully stepped into this assignment. A hard lesson I had to learn at the beginning of this journey was I can't enroll everyone in my courses and programs. So that's the reason that I have specific qualifiers, okay? Qualification processes up front. Like, is this the right program for you? And it's no shade. If it's not, I want to refer you to the right person or the right resource that's going to help you further your vision, your mission. But all the time, everything and everyone is not going to be aligned with what it is that you are doing. So I needed to put this here, okay, for somebody. I know it's not just for me, but these are lessons that I have learned along the way, and also things that are just thought-provoking. You know, when you're chosen and you know you've been called to do something, you know that you cannot run from your purpose. I promise. Like, you just can't. Okay, at some point it's going to come to a head, and you are going to be forced. When you are chosen, you are going to be forced into position. I also believe that there is divine timing. And what I mean by that is, when God gives you an assignment, he aligns you with opportunities and resources that you are supposed to be taking at specific times, because there's grace there. And in that grace, we're able to move faster. Okay, things start to happen faster than they do for other people. So when I hear other people, you know, even some of my mentors talk about how long it took them to achieve some of the goals that I achieved in less time. Number one, I think is, yes, they were a part of my divine timing, okay, and mission and purpose, me hiring them at the right time to help forward my purpose and what it is that I was supposed to be doing. They taught me things that helped me collapse time. That's what mentorship does. It helps you collapse time. So instead of me having to do what they did in 5 years, I could do it in a year, right? Or I could do it in 6 months. It just, again, your timing is so important. When opportunities present themselves, I talk about this all the time because I live it and I believe it. And it's one of the reasons this is called Jump First, okay? It won't always make sense. It won't make sense to other people, but sometimes it won't even make sense to you. Okay, to be honest. Sometimes the things that I do or the things that I say, I'm like, how did I know that? How did I know to do that? How did I know to be in that place at the right time? It's divine, it's your alignment, okay, with your assignment, with your purpose, with what it is that you're doing. So you don't have time to waste time. You don't have time to be following the wrong people, and you don't have time to be explaining your decisions to people who are not aligned with your vision, okay, or your purpose in this moment. Now, again, seasons and reasons for things, all right? But in this moment, you need to be focused on what do you need to be doing that aligns with your purpose, your mission, your vision. If you're watching this, I don't believe you're watching it by accident. I don't believe that it came to you on accident. I think that is for you. And if it is for you, amen. Okay. Take it and utilize it and implement. And if you know it's for somebody else, then pass it along. Okay. Also, if you feel comfortable, share it in the comments section. This was for me. I'm sending y'all much, much love. Again, if you're interested in packaging what you know, you've been thinking about a course and you've been sitting on it, and you know it's a part of your purpose, a part of your mission to get your message out globally, then get started at jumpfirstacademy.org. Okay, I have so much conviction behind what it is that I do. I'm very intentional about this purpose and mission that I am on. So again, jumpfirstacademy.org. If that is for you, go check it out. I love y'all so much. What's going on? Toto Buddy says hello, always learning. I appreciate that. Sajad, hello. Gazoobs, hello. I like your screen name, says from Indonesia in the building. I love it. I appreciate all of y'all for being on. Sending you much, much love. I hope this inspires you forward, and I'll catch y'all back here tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.